and Graham King, Project Controls Manager, to provide the presentation.
Good evening, Chair Hamilton and members of committee. My name is Sherry Deemert, and I am the Director of Infrastructure. I am thrilled to introduce you to the design and construction team. Chair Hamilton has already given all their names, so thank you very much for that. Oh, sorry, there we go. So here's the organizational chart. The first three arrows show the managers, and they each deliver different types of capital projects. The last arrow is our project controls, and they provide support for all of the teams. So infrastructure, as you know, also includes water and wastewater operations, and they were here last month to present to you. So this entire team is focused on capital delivery. They deliver over 60% of the city's capital plan. And each year we are increasing the amount of capital we are spending. So last year we spent over $100 million, and the department's capital needs over the next 10 years are close to $1 billion. So at a high level, we plan, design, construct, and provide engineering support. We have a very specific set of skills and expertise to effectively deliver infrastructure for the community. And as you will see, we deliver projects in-house. We also hire external consultants, and the team strives for cost and schedule certainty and positive outcomes. And I will now pass it over to Adam.
Good evening, Chair Hamilton and members of committee. The Linear Infrastructure Projects team is comprised of 17 technical and highly skilled individuals. Our projects include asphalt resurfacing, annual maintenance programs, stormwater pond, culvert, and creek improvement projects, water main replacement projects, road reconstructions, and neighborhood renewal programs. What's unique about our team is that we design, engineer, and deliver most of our projects in-house. Our projects are successful, and we take pride in our work, and we focus on quality in both design and stakeholder satisfaction. Over the last few years, we've been successful in obtaining over $4 million in grant funding from various agencies. The picture that you're currently looking at is some paving work that we completed on Dunlop Street, west of Ferndale Drive to the city limits. Another example of one of our projects is our Kids Creek Stormwater Pond retrofit project that included the installation of an underground infiltration system that helped to reduce flows on Kids Creek and improved the water quality and restored the pond to a natural state. This project was a partnership with the Lake Simcoe Regional Conservation Authority that won the Healthy Water Award. The Linear team has a significant amount of renewal work ahead of us, including the neighborhood renewal programs. These are large projects with significant cost and include the replacement of all underground infrastructure, including water mains, storm sewers, and sanitary sewers, installation or replacement of sidewalks, installation or replacement of streetlights, and road reconstruction and resurfacing. There are a total of 12 neighborhood renewal projects to deliver over the next.
Apologies, continue. I just want to make sure everybody can hear given the news feed in the back, but maybe just speak up a little bit, just to make sure we can hear. Thank you.
Okay. So the Linear team has a significant amount of renewal work ahead of us, including the neighborhood renewal programs. These are large projects with significant cost and include the replacement of all underground infrastructure, including water mains, storm sewers, and sanitary sewers, installation or replacement of sidewalks, installation or replacement of streetlights, road reconstruction and resurfacing. There are a total of 12 neighborhood renewal programs to be delivered over the next 16 years at an estimated construction value in today's dollars of $239 million. These projects impact approximately 1,500 homes and businesses. The picture that you're currently looking at is the installation of a sanitary sewer and services as part of our ongoing Brock Park neighborhood renewal project. Now I'll pass it over to Tanya.
Thanks, Adam. Good evening, Chair Hamilton and members of committee. Our branch consists of 4 engineering project managers and 3 engineering inspectors that deliver major horizontal linear infrastructure projects, including road widenings, water main, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer, and structures like bridges and culverts. We also manage complex projects, for example, the Dunlop Streetscape, and developer-led projects in the secondary plan area of Salem and Hewitt. The team is also the city's liaison for MTO-led Highway 400 bridge replacement projects. My team is projected to deliver approximately $328 million over the next 10 years. There is no question the Harvey Road Big Bay Point overpass provided a much-needed link in the south end of Barrie transportation network. The team is proud to have led this major undertaking. We continue to work on major improvements to ensure our community stays connected, including major design projects like the widening of Mapleview Drive East, the 3-laning of Bayview Drive from Big Bay Point to Little, and Yonge Street from Mapleview Drive East to Lockhart Road, just to name a few. Some of the major construction projects underway include the Bryn Drive South from Harvey to Kaplan and the Duckworth Street from Melrose Ave to Bell Farm Road. These projects will continue to keep our community connected and residents moving efficiently. We also provide services to the developer-led project, essential to the development of the Salem and Hewitt secondary plan lands. We are currently overseeing the design and construction of the Mackay Road West and Veterans Drive to service the Water Sands and Madam E developments, the design and construction of sewer along Mapleview Drive East of Prince William Way, and the trunk sanitary sewer along the extension of Prince William Way south of Mapleview. These projects will help support growth in the city of Barrie. Some of our projects we are working on, which provide essential services, include the relocation and upgrade of the trunk water main on Sunnydale Bridge at the 400, improvements to the Sophia Creek tributary storm outlet at Memorial Square, and the Dunlop Street sanitary sewer relocation from Hart Drive under the 400 at Cedar Point Drive. These projects ensure our community has the appropriate essential municipal services. Now I will pass it over to Wesley.
Thank you, Chair Hamilton and members of committee. The vertical team consists of a team of 7 passionate project managers. We deliver capital project solutions for water and wastewater, and for our clients, the key clients of water and wastewater. The type of project work we do makes a difference in the community and the people that live there and everyone who enjoys Lake Simcoe. My team is projected to deliver approximately $270 million over the next 10 years. And the following slides, which I'll show you, are some examples of our type of projects that we work on. Our focus is on delivering a large program, a multi-year program of upgrades at the wastewater treatment facility. This will set up the plant nicely for the next expansion and provide operational flexibility while maintaining the Lake Simcoe requirements for phosphorus reduction. This is the first wastewater facility in Ontario to utilize an integrated project delivery approach for projects. This slide is an example of a collaboration with the Wastewater Optimization Group, where they conducted a pilot study to improve the chemical dosing systems. This was a chemical dosing pump upgrade that my team delivered successfully, and we were able to reduce the alum being used at the plant and save approximately $145,000. I believe that's yearly. We also work on projects that ensure the delivery of critical, performance aspects of our critical infrastructure. This picture is inside the Bayfield Water Tower, where we're actually we recoated the interior lining. We replaced the old one and installed a new one. And that was identified through a condition assessment that the water operations branch completed. So a successful project where we worked with our key clients, They completed a condition assessment, and then we delivered the project. Finally, this slide is just it's a rendering of the Ann Street Booster Pump Station that we will be finishing design this year, and it goes to tender next year. Our goal is to support a healthy community by identifying long-term strategies and programs and infrastructure projects that meet water and wastewater servicing needs to 2051 and beyond. We have a lot of work to do, and I'm very excited for the progress that my team will make. Now I'll pass it over to Graham to wrap things up. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Hamilton and fellow councillors, members of committee. From the slide, you can see several key stakeholders having a really good time. We went through a tough whiteboarding session, and we came out all still friends. And we really, and we're still friends. We still do that. And that's one of the things we want to do. We got a lot of good proactive consultation with that process. And that's really what we want to do. That embodies the approach that we want to do to leave a positive legacy. The 3-person integrated project controls team develops and innovates project management issues, processes, guidelines, and sophisticated tools to support the project manager's successes. Our integrated project controls team emphasizes end user consultation when designing the project controls based on collaboration, proactive planning, transparency, consistency, and best practices. The areas of focus that we are interested in are cost certainty to create accurate and all-inclusive estimates, schedule certainty to better understand the project timing and cash flow, and then proactive constructive communication to enhance the understanding of the stakeholders' needs. So, how is the design and construction team doing? Are we leaving a positive legacy? We have achieved a reduction in the yearly carryovers. We have succeeded in reducing construction change orders to less than the industry standard. We're encouraged that our key stakeholders were 100% satisfied with our project managers. And with great pride, we reduced the additional funding request to council for the past 3 years to an average of 1 per year. So in closing, on behalf of the Design and Construction Branch, thank you, Chair Hamilton and committee, for the opportunity to share how our team is successfully leaving a positive legacy and achieving our fundamental goal of providing community benefit. We are now available to answer any questions.
Thank you for that presentation. And if you can stick to those 4 points, spend what you said, and proactive cost estimating and reducing council's requests, I think it'll be a win in our book. So great presentation. Thank you. I'll turn it over to members of the committee first for any questions. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Chair Hamilton. To you, Bella, and you can pick the staff member just on the 4 key points. And I apologize that I didn't send this in advance, but I think when I think of the major project that's going on for the MTO in my ward, and it's spend what we said we would, I think there's also an opportunity, and I'd love staff to maybe highlight it, of the actual cost savings of that program, and by your team and allowing certain other things to happen. And so maybe if somebody can answer, and maybe kind of if you could give me just like a little bit of a breakdown on spend what you said, so not being over budget, like if you had a percentage, and then what we've estimated, how that's working. Like and it doesn't have to all be right now, but I would love to give staff an opportunity to talk about the great savings the city's seen in the MTO project.
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Deputy Mayor Thompson. Okay, there's a lot of questions there, so I think I got them all. I'm assuming you're referring to the Dunlop Sanitary Project, where we're removing our services off the bridge before the MTO does their project. So it's a city project before the MTO does their project. And we were able to, I think the number is around 7.6 million that the MTO will be contributing to that project. So we do work in collaboration with them on all of our projects and all of their projects as well. And your next question was about the percentage.
Actually, you know what? It was more to give you an opportunity to highlight that. Sometimes, you know, people hear that, you know, we run over budgets and stuff like that. The other stuff we can take offline and stuff, but I would love to see like kind of a breakdown, some KPIs and stuff, because we're hearing a lot about overrun construction costs, unable to spend all the funding because it's hard to get people and in the tendering process. So maybe if that can go offline, but you know, just to give you guys the opportunity, I wanted to really highlight that, you know, there's been a lot of conversation, you know, some disruptions and stuff, but you know, we're doing everything we can and saving time. We're working 24 hours and there's been a lot of cost savings to the taxpayer. So I wanted that opportunity. All the other stuff we can take offline. So thank you.
Any other questions from members of committee? Councilor Riepma.
It's not really a question. I suppose I can make it a question by say, isn't that correct? Yeah. But I wanted to just highlight one, we've talked about big jobs, but the one little job in Ward 1 that we just finished. It's a tough little job. It's putting in a sidewalk. And it goes from Blake Street to the stairs on Rodney. And it's everybody used to walk on the road. And I was amazed that we didn't kill anybody along the way. And I worked with staff to get that sidewalk built. And there was a lot of back and forth. And there's 4 neighbors right there that needed to have their interests met as well. And you know, staff did a great job. We just finished the project, and contract worked out really well, I think. And yeah, I'm really pleased. And we have I don't know, what is it, 400 feet of sidewalk, which, you know, was a really tough little job. So I don't know whether you have any comments on that, Bala, but it certainly was for me, it's kind of like it was a great little job.
Through you, Chair Hamilton, thanks for the compliments, Councillor Riepma, but absolutely Sherry's team and I think Adam's team was responsible for that sidewalk. And one of the key drivers for them is that they want to leave a positive legacy with all their projects. And I think this project exemplifies that. So I think the team is very much focused on leaving positive legacies. With respect to cost certainties, if I can just address your question, Deputy Mayor Thompson, again, what we try and do on every project is once a project cost estimate is created in the capital plan, we try and deliver the project for that cost right from day one, with the only adjustments that we make is inflation every year. And as Graham said, we've been quite successful in doing that over the last 4 years. We've got a really good record of coming in within the budget that is in the capital plan. And we also keep KPIs on change orders and project cost changes, and we can certainly share those with you. I believe it is, some of that is KPIs that we report on, but we can definitely give you more details.
Thank you for that. Any other questions from members of committee? And moving to any questions from members of not on the committee. Yes, Councillor Kungl.
Thank you, Chair Hamilton. And maybe to build on that, Mr. Irenia Sundarin, so hearing from the presentation, I think that you the team led off on, I think maybe Sherry might have introduced it, or it was Adam that talked about 60% of services you're delivering on our capital plan. And that's pretty significant. And then in the flavor of being able to hold the line on not really having overruns around costs. Is that because we're doing, I heard a lot of that work internally around engineering and design in some of those departments? Or is it because of how we go out to quote or secure kind of a contract arrangement around cost of a project?
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Councillor Kungle, very good question. So some of the projects we do in-house, and I would say the number is about 40% of the projects are done in-house. For the remaining projects, we use consultants, external consultants for the design, and almost on all projects, we use contractors for the construction, and it's all competitively bid.
Okay.
And we find that a lot of the in-house projects are very successful because we are able to deliver them very efficiently. So to decide between in-house versus external, it's typically if it's like a project that doesn't require significant expertise that we don't have, that's when we usually go external. So a lot of the vertical projects, pump stations, treatment plants, bridges, tunnels, those types of projects, we would go externally. All of the other projects we do in-house, and we have great success doing it.
Thank you. And I have a follow-up question, a different line of questioning, but we've seen it across the board around aspects that you touched tied to infrastructure and water, wastewater, quality of our water. I've been through some of the facilities and have always been impressed around kind of leading edge technology that are being incorporated. So I guess my question really is, considering the line of work across those departments around infrastructure, is there anything council could appreciate around the mindfulness from an environmental factor? So whether it be materials you're using or your approaches to that, where does your department actually strategically look at aligning the work you do to maybe progressive green standards or standards that look at efficiencies through the lifespan of the type of infrastructure that you're putting in?
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Councillor Kungle, I will start off the answer and I'll let the rest of the team chime in. So I think we are kind of unique given where we are located. Lake Simcoe places a stringent standards that we have to meet, and that means everything we do has to keep that in mind. And we have to do that efficiently. So one of the things that the team does is when we do design, we assess life cycle costs to make sure that what we design and construct is in keeping with good asset management standards, and also the design is able to meet the stringent environmental standards that we are subject to. As an example, the wastewater treatment plant, when it's completed, will probably be the most advanced in Canada because of the stringent standards that we have to meet discharging to Lake Simcoe. Similarly, on the water side, we've got a combination of groundwater and surface water. That in itself introduces a lot of complexities that we have to address and make sure that we design our infrastructure to be able to meet the stringent standards that we have to meet.
If I may last follow up, thank you for that. And as development might move in proximity further away from Lake Simcoe, does the way in which city staff and the corporation look at standards change a lot? Or do you try and maintain the same type of quality of standards as if you were recognizing aquifers and or other aspects tied to groundwater and the quality of water, but recognizing Lake Simcoe, I'm assuming that's a particular boundary where those standards are expected. And then when we move outside of that, is there a significant change in how we address our approach to infrastructure design and implementation?
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Councillor Kungle. On the wastewater side, there is no difference.
Okay.
You know, your proximity to Lake Simcoe doesn't matter because everything ends up in Lake Simcoe, so the whole system is subject to the same high standards. With water, it's a little different because we've got groundwater and surface water. And especially if we are to expand the groundwater in the future, then there may be some differences depending on the location. But regardless, it's complex given that, you know, we've got this unique supply of ground and surface water.
Thank you. That's all my questions. My compliments to the team on the work you're doing and the complexity of the different portfolios that you hold. So thank you.
Councillor Cursor, I think, did you have a question?
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Mr. Arya Sundrin. I just wondering, we have seen a lot of construction across the bridges over the 400 with the 400X widening. And there's a lot of challenges with getting around the city, which I'm sure that we hear often. How much collaboration happens between the MTO, the province, and the in-house team about the timing surrounding such projects? Does the MTO kind of say, Ministry of Transportation kind of say, this is the bridge we're doing this one, this is the start date, this is the end date, you need to get your infrastructure in line? Or is there the collaboration of conversations that take place to decide which bridge is done when within city traffic flows and infrastructure? And I guess that's my question.
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Councillor Corser, I think I'm going to punt this one to Ms. Oakley, who can probably provide a better answer.
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Councillor Corser. I would say that there is collaboration. We certainly, the MTO respects our requests when we say, you know, that certain bridges can't be closed at the same time. I don't think they've actually even proposed that, right? They have that sort of common sense approach that they wouldn't close multiple bridges at the same time. We are a little bit at their mercy when they publish their construction schedules, but once they understand that we have to relocate trunk sanitary sewers in the case of Dunlop, or we're doing a number of other relocations in the case of Sunnydale, they obviously defer their projects so that they can accommodate. We have an ongoing discussion with them. We meet with them several times a year to ensure that we're coordinating.
If I can follow up. So if the MTO works with is there consideration taken for cost of labor issues and impacts that happen in-house with projects that need to be done infrastructure within the city? Because I know that there are pressures on all construction projects. I'm just wondering if there's an impact with the MTO putting out their timeline and maybe having to cost the city more to get projects done because of the lack of labor there is now, or do they kind of recognize those issues and they have them themselves? So is there any talk about collaborating around what would be the best time to put something out to market? They understand the pressures that are happening because they don't want to put out those kind of costs too, just for a cost savings kind of standpoint.
Through you, Chair Hamilton, to Councillor Corser, the MTO, similar to us, they have like a well-defined capital plan, and as much as possible, they stick to it. Like us, they've got some rigorous cost estimating processes. So before a project goes into construction, if we're involved, we usually sign an agreement with them, and that agreement will stipulate our cost share and their cost share. And because of the work that's usually done up front, I think almost as a rule, we've been able to come within budget, both on projects that they deliver and any that we would deliver. So enough work goes in to these projects to make sure that we estimate the costs to reflect market conditions. And as much as possible, they stick to their plan, the 10-year plan.
Okay, thank you.
I think we have one more question, but I'm just going to follow up on Councillor Cursor's question because I think it's MTO related. Just in terms of the Harvey Road crossing, was there any thought during the design and construction of that, given the ESSA construction that's taking place right now with the on and off ramps, to actually have on and off ramps on Harvey Road? I get that question a lot and just wonder, and again, it could be a decision by MTO, but just for anybody who's watching to understand what the thought process was there to not include on and off ramps on the Harvey Road overpass, just given again the growth and knowing that the construction was going to happen on the ESSA.
To you, Chair Hamilton, there was a time when that was considered. And we, in fact, when we started designing the project, we did look at that and, whether we should allow, the features to allow us to do that. But I think in collaboration with MTO and the city staff, we decided that a on-ramp, off-ramp would not fit there. The one thing with these ramps is that you can't have them too close, meaning you can't have too many exits and entrances. There are certain guidelines with respect to how close they can be so that traffic can move in an orderly way. And I think that was a big consideration in doing away with the on-ramp and off-ramp at Harvey Big Bay.
Thank you for that. All right, Mayor Nettle.
Yeah, thanks, Chair Hamilton. Appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to our staff, not just for the presentation, but for the work that's been done. And I don't know what slide it was, but it's kind of outlined the different places and said it was over 200 and I think it was 70 million or 80 million on the slide. It's really interesting. The more we talk about the pressures that we're facing on housing or jobs, the more we realize the work that's been done in advance and been delivered on and will continue to be delivered on at the wastewater treatment facility is what puts Barrie ahead of everybody else. That's why senior levels of government are, saying good things about the city of Barrie, and that was delivered through your crew there, Bala. And so I just wanted to make sure, said thank you, not just recognizing what's coming, but a lot of it's just building on work that's already been done that's positioned the city in a really, really, really strong way. So thank you for that, and please extend the thanks to the rest of your team.
I think we're feeling extra complimentary this evening, which is unusual, but maybe nice given what the rest of the evening's going to be like. I will also finish with just a compliment here. I know the city, given that it's budget time, recently did a survey and also a telephone survey, I think, to residents asking them what the biggest issue facing the city was right now and where we should be allocating our budget. And I actually replicated that survey in my own ward to understand what the residents' priorities were. And I actually, walking into this meeting tonight, someone responded saying, at one time, I would have suggested we invest in roads and infrastructure more, but I see great improvements in the last couple of years. Please keep up the good work. So I just wanted to pass that on. I thought it was timely getting that message as I was walking into this meeting, but your work is not going unnoticed. So well done. And with that, I will say a final thank you and we'll move on unless there's any other questions I missed. Nope. Okay, so moving on, there are no standing items this evening, no referred items. So we'll move into agenda item number 6, which are advisory committee reports. There is one advisory committee report to be received. 6.1, the report of the Communities in Bloom Committee dated November 7th, 2023. Can I please have a member of committee place the report on the floor to be received?
Put the motion on the floor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. Are there any questions from members of the committee or members of council in attendance? Seeing none, all in favor? And it is carried. There are no report of officers this evening, no items for discussion. So we'll move to item number 9, adjournment. This concludes the Infrastructure and Community Investment Committee meeting. The general committee meeting will begin at 7 p.m. The meeting